I'm your host, Kylan Thomas. Been a rough 2 weeks of football for me. I mean, this fall, I just can't win. This fall is gonna be hard. I'm going to have a hard time between the Gators, between my Jaguars. It's gonna be. I'm prepping myself, preparing myself for a hard fall of football. I as a fan, and we're gonna dive into the Jaguars first, man. Just pathetic. Your home opener, first home game of the season. Your home opener, first home game of the season. I'm driving all the way from Atlanta to go down there because my birthday today. Happy birthday to me. So I say, you know what, for my birthday, all I really want to do, I want to go to the Jaguars game. I want to go to the first home game of the season for my birthday. Now I bet I was watching that shit at the damn high. Driving 6 hours to Jacksonville. Then got to turn around and drive 6 hours back. You got to go to work the next day. But I say, you know what, I'm going to do it how we look, based on how we look the first week of the season. Oh, we finna come home and we finna dominate. We finna beat the Browns. Especially given how they had just looked against the Cowboys. Deshaun struggled. Oh, we're thinking, he finna come in. Especially how our defense played against Miami. We like, oh yeah, we finna shut that shit down. We finna lock that down. Man, poo-hoo, boo-hoo. And honestly, you still can't put it all on the defense. Because it's not all on the defense. Defense gave up 18. Really 16. The 18 came from the safety that our $55 million a year quarterback took. But that's not here nor there. We're going to get into him in a little bit. So really 16. And we can't score more than 16 points. A team with Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, BTJ, Gabe Davis, Mitch Morse at center. A team with that many weapons can't put up more than 16 points. Now granted, Evan Ingram was out right before the game. I got the notification on my phone, tailgate. Right before the game, a hamstring. Right before the game, hamstring. And the way our offense is set up, it's set up to if you're missing a piece, we should be able to still function. We should be able to get more than 16 points. Hell, we didn't use Evan last week. And all I kept hearing last year, down the stretch, all I kept hearing, oh, injuries. They lost Christian Kirk. O-line. Trevor hurt. That's all we kept hearing. That's all I kept hearing. Everybody want to keep screaming, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. I get it. I mean, obviously, you got to have time to do something. But I mean, it's like, how much time do y'all think he should have every play? How How much? For those, especially for those Jags fans, how much time is enough time for Trevor Lawrence every play? Because it's like, damn, y'all want the man to have 10 seconds every play. It's like that he got to learn how to get rid of the ball. Like, you don't always have to throw away. Look for your check down. It's like he's still reading the field, processing the coverage. Pre-snap stuff is still things he's working on in his 4th season. He just got paid $55 million a year. He's the #1 pick. He was touted as generational. And in his 4th season, 3rd season under the same head coach, the same offensive coordinator, you got your same core pieces around you. He is still the same things. He still needs to work on the same things. And every year, every game, y'all give the same excuse. Offensive line, players can't get open, this and that. Okay, talk about the times when they are open, when he does have time. That was all game. And I'm at the game. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've learned, you got to get off Jags Twitter. You got to get off Jags Twitter, because that is not the whole. That's not a whole, what they call a microcosm of the Jag fan. No, at the game, a lot of people thinking the same way I'm thinking. If you're in that state, like, it's different. It's different watching it on TV than it is in the stadium. It's just the vibe. Like, it's just the feel. Like, it's the feeling. It's the vibe. It's like when you're in that stadium and you see the get loud on the scoreboard, and you get loud for defense just for them to let them complete the 3rd down. The fuck I'm gonna keep getting loud for? Then your offense come out there, boom, 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 gone. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I'm talking about literally, y'all, like, literally. It's like soon as the defense got off the field, here come Trevor now. 2nd down, 2nd and 11, 3rd and 10, 4th and 7. 1st down, go to 1st down, 2nd and 10, or 2nd and 11, or 2nd and 12. It's like we can't, like, how come other teams always have somebody wide open, running wide open? How come we don't have that? And when somebody is open, Trevor overthrowing. That's been the thing we've said about him his whole career. He's gonna throw the ball high. But y'all always make an excuse for that. Oh, it's the offensive line fault. Now, Grant, that's what I'm not saying. No, listen. I'm not saying it's all him. I'm not. But can he be the reason we win? Can he have a game where he's the reason that we won despite everything? He seems to be one of the, and if this is the case, this is the case. But Trevor Lawrence seems to be the type of quarterback that everything around him has to be perfect in order for him to thrive. And that's not a generational quarterback. That's not the #1 pick. That's not who you give $55 million a year to. That's not who you make at a certain point the highest paid quarterback. But then there goes, but Kylan, it's the market. Everybody gonna reset the market. Everybody gonna have that chance to kind of reset the market. He just reset the market. Obviously we see now his pay is not the highest. Okay, Grant, if you want to say it like that, cool. But the whole discussion around Trevor all season, which is what I said, they need to wait to pay him. They need to wait. They need to wait. They need to wait. You want to know why I said that? Because of this right here. We 2 games in, offense still poo-poo. And this, I'm as a fan, I'm trying to, and that's what I'm like, I got your jersey on. I'm sitting here recording my podcast talking about the team, talking about you ain't performing, but I'm still up here with your jersey. Wearing your jersey. So it's like as a fan, I don't know about no other fan, because they seem to keep making excuses for him. As a fan, I am tired. When is the Jaguars? When are we going to have our chance? When are we going to have our time? When are we going to get our Patrick Mahomes? Hell, our Josh Allen. They in the AFC Championship games. Joe Burrow led his team to a Super Bowl. It's like, then everybody want to talk about the safety. He got to get rid of the ball before the play. Look and see your route. That's why I say it's one of those, you got to know your routes before the play. If it's crashing or something crashing, throw it. It doesn't have to be intentional grounding. Throw it in the area. Throw it in the to the ground and towards the receiver. They do it all the time. That's what I'm saying. Y'all keep making excuses for him. Even he said himself in the press conference that safety was on me. I have to do better. I have to get rid of the ball. He was trying to make a play, which I get, but that's Trevor's MO. Like, yes, offensive line has to be better, but y'all don't seem to get on him either when he holds on to the ball, which he does a lot, because I get it. He's trying to make a play because it's like offensively we struggle. So he's trying to make a play, which I get. I respect that. But bro, you got to be better. At this point in your career, you got to know it's awareness. It's situational football. I know, okay, let me look at my routes. I know where everybody going. Okay. If it's crashing or something happened, boom, I know where I gotta go. Or is it play calling? Did he have an easy check down to throw to? But then it's like, bro, you in your fourth season, you just got paid $55 million. You can check out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, keep giving excuses. Every excuse y'all give for him, I could give another one as to why it should have been better. Check out of it. Hell, you check into a run. Then the delay of games. Why are we in the third year in the system and we still getting delay of game penalties? We still getting delay of game penalties. But as a fan, I'm wrong if I sit up here and talk about Trevor Lawrence. In any negative capacity, I'm wrong. But he can hold on to the ball like that one play. I mean, he held on to the ball forever. But I'm sure that's still offensive line fault. Still the offensive line fault. Our defense held them off in the second half. We were making a comeback. And I'm in the stadium because I'm going to give y'all the perspective. Because I'm at the game. That whole game, that whole first half, Browns fans, hoo. They in there live, they rocking, they cranking. Then as we started to come back, they started to get more quiet. Our fans starting to get into the game, get into the rhythm, get into the flow. We getting back loud. And then it's right back down the drain. And we said it. The possession right on before the safety. They're gonna punt. They're really gonna punt. They're not gonna try for the field goal. But I was looking back at it, I say, you know what? I would have punted too. Because Trevor has been in this situation. He just was in a situation last week against the Dolphins where you need to go on a game-winning drive. When has he shown that he can take us down the field? I guarantee that Patrick Mahomes, they would have tried that field goal. You got to get points against that mofo. I say, you know what? I would have punted too. When has he ever shown that he can take us 99 yards and go to win a game? Not just in the course, to win a game. This is the drive. If you don't score on this drive, we lose. When has he done that? When? Same thing, same week. Defense hold them out. Offense can't produce. And Doug, offense is your side of the ball, man. Doug done. Doug is done. Doug Peterson is done. We need a young-minded, up-and-coming-minded coach. I'm not saying what Doug did was bad. Doug, you can tell Doug changed the culture of what Jaguars football was. Now, that may not have been much to do, you coming off of Urban Meyer, but Doug did what he was supposed to do. But at this point in time, I think it's over. We just need to cut losses, because how we make the playoffs in the year we weren't supposed to. Then the year after that, you 8-3, led the AFC entirely at a point, just to lose out and not make the playoffs. To now, we're carrying over that same thing into the third season. It's like, are they just not receptive to you anymore? Are they just not? Do they just not like your game plan anymore? Is it the OC? You should have made a change at the OC. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's at a certain point with coaching. It's at a certain point where your message is falling on deaf ears, and that's where it seems to Doug's. That's where this seems to be with Doug Peterson. Now you getting snarky and mad at folks in the prayer conference. Bro, we gonna ask you questions. We finna ask about this, because this is horrible. This is crazy. We're going to ask you about it. Then you want to throw your DC under the bus. This has got to be better. I picked the Jaguars to win this division easily because of everything we have. I was told by Trevor himself this was the most talented team he's been on. I've been sold a bill of goods all off season. And I ain't even got to be sold nothing. He ain't got to tell me, look at the roster, look at who we got. All the other quarterbacks in our division are in their second seasons. Titans got a new head coach. Colts head coach in the second year. Texans head coach in the second year. You got second year quarterbacks, two of which are coaches that are in the second year, one in the coaches in the first year. Anthony Richardson was hurt majority of last year. So technically, if you want to say this is his first part of his first season, which he's struggling, which I said that was what that was going to be. But Colts fans hate me up for that. But it's playing out how I said that would look. But so that's what I'm like. For me, it's more so of we have to win this division easily, because if not, major changes are going to be made. Because if we don't, that means a second year quarterback with either a first or second year head coach would have won the division over a fourth year quarterback with all these veterans, star skill level, especially offensive skill players who got these big paydays, big bags. Second to first year head coaches would have beaten that out with a Super Bowl winning head coach at the helm. It's got to be better. This has got to be better. And as a fan, I just got off a cold. I'm sitting in the rain watching y'all just play pathetic. They even came out flat. Like, the energy was just, like, you could see it. Like somebody mentioned, the Browns players jumping up down, the music playing, they lit. What we doing over there? What we on the sideline? It was just flat. Like, the energy's just, that's what I'm like, that's what I say. It's at a certain point, is the coach's message just falling on deaf ears? Do they just not want to play for you no more? But it's got to be better. Like, so now we sit in the AFC South. Every team is 0-2 except for the Texans, who are 2-0. I mean, it's early in the season, but it's like, what's the stat for how many teams have come back from 2-0 and even made the playoffs? Not 2-0. How many teams have come from 0-2 and made NFL playoffs? I don't want to quote the number wrong. Since the NFL playoffs expanded to 14 teams in 2020, 32 franchises have started the season 0-2. Only 2 of those 32 teams, Cincinnati in 22, Houston in 23, made the postseason. Just 5 of those 32 teams finished the season with a winning record. But it's like, I honestly though feel like the way the AFC is shaking out this year, it's a lot of teams, especially teams that we were shocked by, that have a 0-2 start. I feel like we'll end up that stat is gonna be just annihilated this season, because you got the Bengals are 0-2, the Ravens are 0-2, Jaguars, Titans, Colts 0-2. You got the Chiefs 2-0, Raiders 1-1. They beat the Ravens. You got Dolphins. They don't look to be the same. Tua's hurt, 1-1. Bills 2-0, Jets 1-1. So I mean, you got some 0-2 teams that we didn't think would be 0-2, but you got some teams that's 2-0, 1-1 that you didn't think would be that record either. So I don't know. I think that record will be annihilated this season. But in saying that, Jaguars. Now we gotta face a Bills team Monday Night Football in their stadium. Between my Gators and Jaguars, I'm not predicting no more W's. That's a L. Then right after that, we gotta go to Houston. That's a L. So we looking at 0-4. We not coming back from 0-4. I'm sorry, because at a certain point, especially you try to go by quarters. If you, within your 4 games, if you 0-4, we is what we is at that point. We are what we are. We are who they thought they were. We are who they thought they were. So it gotta be better. It can transition to my Gators. Honestly, I'm not finna give them too much of my time. I ain't finna give them too much of my energy. Man, I'm not predicting no more wins. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't care if we had Sanford on the schedule again. I'm not predicting no more wins. When it comes to my Gators, it is what it is. I mean, playoffs, that shit over with. I mean, I try to be a hopeful fan. I try to look at things, and even in me being hopeful, I still was looking at things realistically, because I said we got a tough schedule now. We got a tough schedule, but I felt like by the time we would face a lot of these teams, they wouldn't be who we are hyping them up to be, and that's shaped out. Like, look at LSU, where they are. They just pull up their schedule. Let's look at the teams that I said by the time we would face them, they wouldn't be what we hyped it up to be. Hell, look who we just played, Texas A&M. We was playing their backup quarterback. We just sorry and couldn't do nothing with it, but we just played their backup quarterback. So yeah, look at Florida State isn't who we thought they would be. They are horrible. But they not who we thought they would be. Okay, you got Miami number 8, Texas A&M. We play their backup quarterback. They actually have us favored to beat Mississippi State. Then you got UCF after that. And let's look at UCF's schedule. UCF. See, UCF looking good. They look pretty good based on their schedule. Kentucky lost by 1 to Georgia. Tennessee, yeah, nah, never mind. Never mind. Some teams that I said that would be who we played when shake out to be some of them, like who I said, Texas A&M, we played they back up. Florida State don't look to be Florida State. LSU don't look to be hyped like how we had them coming into the season. But other than that, yeah, everybody else pretty much gonna be tough. Tennessee look good. Kentucky did not look good until they played Georgia. That's what I said. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They only lost by 1 to Georgia. They held Georgia to 13. That's what I said. I'm going to give them that. But before, they did not look good. Their quarterback did not look good against South Carolina, who LSU just almost lost to. But yeah, that's what I said. Gators, they're not going to get too much of my energy, honestly. I don't know what Billy doing. What kind of system when you rotate quarterbacks? You said DJ would have packages. How you play one quarterback one drive, then you put the next one in, the next drive, then the next one in. How is any one of them, if you want DJ to play Graham, how is any one of them supposed to get a rhythm with that kind of rotation? When you say packages, Graham is the start. Graham is playing. DJ comes in every now and then to sprinkle things out. That's how I was thinking that was going to go. That's how that should have went. Because even Graham threw the touchdown, and then you put DJ in right after that. No, at this point, DJ has to play. At this point, play DJ. He's your starter. If he gets hurt, that's when Graham's coming in. But honestly, I think Graham time with the Gators should be done. Billy, you playing for your job, bro. What you got to lose? Play freshman. If you play him, let him get the preparation throughout the week. Let him know you are the starter. This is your team. Give him the keys. And if we saw how he struggled against Texas A&M, which we knew, but he has to be able to get into a rhythm, into the flow of the game. And neither one of them was going to get the opportunity being in one drive, then out the net, being in, then out the net. Neither one of them was going to get that opportunity. Give DJ Latway the keys. Let him prep for throughout the week. Know you're the starter. We're counting on you. And this might save your job, bro, because he looked how he looked against Texas A&M. If you allow him to play and grow, and throughout the season, we see his maturation. Hell, now this is sometimes as fans, we like to compare certain things. He turns out to be a Caleb Williams. He can say, yeah, Coach Napier did that. That's my coach. He offense, that's my coach. Coach Napier coached him to play like how Caleb Williams did when he came in. So that's I'm like, honestly, bro, if you want to look at it that way, Billy, coach, that could save your job. Go ahead and give DJ the keys. At this point, what is there to lose? And if he ends up playing how we think he could, as he has time to get into the system, get into things, get that experience, and not keep getting in, taking out, getting in, taking out, that could save your job. So you got to look at it like that. Then reports coming out, discussions are being made with Coach Billy, and between the Gator boosters, they're going to put $26 million to buy him out. We got excited, but that was debunked quick by Nick Delatore on Twitter. He debunked that quick. No conversations have been made. Coach Billy even said it in his press conference, no, I have not had any discussions with my future. He's even said there is a path for him to have another season. So that's been debunked. But for the Gators and where we are, I'm not giving them no more of my energy. I'm not predicting no more wins. At this point, give DJ Latway the keys. What do we have to lose? Graham is not your future. Give DJ the keys. Let him play. Give him the game, the whole game. Do not wait. Again, stop waiting until we down 20-0, 10-0 to put him in. Let him start the whole game. Let him prep through the whole week knowing I'm the player, I'm the starter. They counting on me. And let him ride out through the season to see how much he grows, to see where he actually can take us. Because if that man end up popping, Billy, your job is saved. You got him in here and you coached him to that. So you got to look at it like that. If ain't nobody convinced Billy Napier to let DJ play, show him this clip, this video. But I'm telling you, if you let that man play, and he somehow is Caleb Williams 2.0, your job is shaved. Now, checking in with a message from our sponsor. We'll be right back to finish off with around the NFL and around college football. Checking in with a message from the sponsor here, Katie's Creations. We're in football season. It's starting to get a little chilly. If you're a Jag fan, if you're a Gator fan, or any fan of any college or NFL team, get at Caitlin Green, who creates handmade, hand crocheted hats. I asked her to do these for me because these are my two teams. This is a lock sock. This is just your regular ruffle beanie. You don't have to get ruffles. She does have some without ruffles, just flat brim beanie. Get at her. Instagram, Taranja.Leela_. For those of you that don't anime, I'll put it on the screen for you. Taranja.Leela_ on Instagram and Facebook, Caitlin Green. Again, I'll put it down on there for y'all. Katie's Creations, get at her, DM her, get your hat when you're in football season. Welcome back and thank you for that message from our sponsor over at Katie's Creations. Let's take a look and go around NCAA football, college football, and what happened this past weekend. LSU barely survived against South Carolina. Honestly, South Carolina should have won that game. But that just goes to show that separates the good teams from the great teams. Somehow they always manage to find a way to win. Boston College may just actually be legit. They only lost by 7 to Missouri, and they were in that game as well. Is Georgia actually beatable? Only won by 1 against Kentucky, who had just struggled against South Carolina. Kentucky. Let's see. Kentucky, who had just struggled. Where their quarterback, where we were saying they might have to rethink who they got at quarterback. Kentucky, who had just lost 31-6 to South Carolina, where their quarterback went 3 for 10, 30 yards, 1 interception. That Georgia team only beat that team by 1 point. Now, granted, Kentucky ran the football. They ran the football. We'll give them that. But is Georgia actually beatable? Which brings us to Texas now being the #1 ranked team in college football. They look to be the only clear-cut team who we can say this looks to be the only unbeatable team. Then you got the 12-team playoff. This is going to be an interesting season because, like I said, nobody looks unbeatable except for Texas. Then you got Colorado, had a great win against their rival in Colorado State. Even though we can still say it's Colorado State, it's their rival, given everything that happened last season, giving off the loss that just came. Shador came back strong, 36-49, 310 yards, 4 touchdowns. We know what Travis gives us defensively, but he gave us 13 receptions, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. They came back strong. I'll give them that's a good win to come back, bounce back. Thought it would be a good close game as rivals. It was not. So great bounce back by Colorado and Coach Prime over there in Colorado. Lastly, Florida State loses to Memphis. What is going on in Florida State? You have losses to Georgia Tech, to Boston College, and now to Memphis. If you want to say, okay, Georgia Tech, Boston College, those were still your conference game, rival games. Okay, cool. But Memphis, y'all lost to Memphis, and I'm not gonna allow any Florida State fans to downplay the fact that y'all were ranked 10 coming into the season. Y'all were just vying for a playoff spot last season. You can't go from vying for a playoff spot to being 0-3, losing to teams that you are not supposed to lose to. When you supposedly had a player like DJ Ugalele coming in, your coach is still there. Your defensive line was supposed to be one of the better defensive lines in the country, and that has not shaken out to be that. So what is going on down in Florida State? Should Mike Norvell lose his job? Now conversations are Mike might even be gone. They just signed the man to an extension. The man was just about to go to Alabama. So I don't want to hear no excuse. I don't want no Florida State fans downplaying the fact that this has not been good. Y'all can talk about us Gators all y'all want, but we pretty much knew what we were coming into the season. This from Florida State has been shocking, not to say the least. And stop downplaying the fact that this has been shocking. Was it Travis, Verse, and all them all along? Was it Keon Coleman? Was it Johnny Wilson? Was it them all along? Or is Mike Norvell actually a good coach? He just needs to make the switch at quarterback. Now we see you depending on these portal players so much. He can't recruit. So you're depending on your portal players. It's not shaking out. You got to be able to still recruit and bring guys in. That's it. Into our last segment of the show, last segment of the podcast around the NFL, where I discuss all things, big things that has happened around the NFL. The Bills absolutely destroyed the Dolphins. Looks like the Dolphins may not be who we thought they were. And Tua suffered another tragic concussion, one where he looks like he barely ran into the guy. Should Tua retire? I don't think so. It's one of those, I'm an athlete myself. This is the game I love. I'm going to keep playing till I literally can't play no more. I don't think the man should retire, but I think he really should take a step and really evaluate his health, really evaluate what can he do to prevent these concussions, because these are massive concussions where his body is literally locking up after getting concussed. So where do the Dolphins go for here? Should they trade for Kirk Cousins? Should they trade for Mac Jones? I say Kirk because they just drafted Michael Penix Jr. So should they go after one of these veteran quarterbacks? Should they go after a Russell Wilson? Looks like reports are coming out of Pittsburgh that if Fields looked how he looked against the Broncos, they won the game, they may just continue to ride him out. Should they trade for Russell Wilson? We shall see. Then you have one of the biggest stories that came out this Sunday of the NFL. The Cowboys lost 44-19 to the New Orleans Saints. 44-19 in the Cowboys Stadium. 44-19. Now Saints have back-to-back weeks where they put up 40 points. I said last week I didn't put much stock into that because I'm like, they're playing the Panthers, they're playing Bryce Young. But for them to come back the very next week and do the same thing, okay, now my eyes are open against that Cowboys defense. Are the Saints actually legit? All offseason, I thought it was clear-cut that the Falcons would win that division. But I don't know. We might have to pause and think about that for a second, because the Saints are legit, man. They legit. Then after that, we got Colts are in our division, our fellow division mates. Lost to the Packers, who played Malik Willis. Anthony Richardson struggled mightily, which I said he would. Are the Cardinals for real? We saw what that Bills team just did to the Dolphins. The Cardinals were in that game. They let Josh Allen just roar back. The Cardinals put up, 28 points? Cardinals put up 28 points against that Bills team, lost by 6. So for them to turn around and get things right the very next week, 41-10 against the Rams, who a lot of people still think the Rams are still very good. The Cardinals just may actually be legit for real. And Bears, Texans, you had the Texans pull out the W. The Chiefs always seem to find a way to win. I can't explain it. Like I can't. And they seem to be a team that's struggling, but they seem to always find a way to win. And lastly, Panthers have benched Bryce Young. I don't think that's the right decision. Now he bears some blame. Like it's not like Bryce Young is just this world beater who, no, he struggles, but it's his second season. We are in his second game in the second season of his career, and y'all decide to bench him for a veteran. Now I will give the Panthers this: they brought in Xavier Legette, they brought in Deontay Johnson. You got Chuba Hubbard. You got a new head coach, an offensive-minded head coach, offensive-minded OC. So it's like, I get from their perspective, what more do we need to do to get Bryce going, to get him to unleash him, to unlock his ability. Got to get him protection. But again, I don't like when we continuously try to put everything on the offensive line. You got, like I said, you got Xavier Legette, you got Adam Thielen, you got Chuba Hubbard, you got Deontay Johnson. You have pieces. So with the head coach that's offensive minded, and so for y'all to only put up first game of the season, Panthers put up, let's see. First game of the season, Panthers put up 10 points. Next game against the Chargers with a new head coach and Jim Harbaugh, 3 points. That encompasses everybody. Bryce got to play better too, but you have to give him that chance to play better. Panthers are not a great organization, but we can't act like that organization has not made moves to bring in people around Bryce Young. I mean, we can't act like that. Then on defense, you got Jadeveon Clowney, J.C. Horn, Mingo and your wide receiver, Shaq Thompson. If you look at their roster, they have pieces. So it's like, well, where's the disconnect? That's what they have to figure out. But you're not going to figure that out and benching them. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for listening to me vent. Like I said, I'm not going to continue to give the Gators no more of my attention. It is what it is with them. I'm not picking the Jaguars to win another game until they win. I'm not picking the Gators to win another game until they win. Thank y'all so much for listening. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure everything done before you try to have fun. Peace.